Welcome back to another episode of The Dairy Aisle. I'm your host, seven-time Latin Grammy-nominated artist, Eli. With me, as always, the co-hostess with the mostest, Jellybean Jones himself, ladies and gentlemen, James Mazzareto. James, how you doing, buddy?
Thank you. How you doing, Eli? I'm good. I'm happy to be back. Another episode, another beautiful day with you, you know?
Aw, yeah, it does look kind of nice outside, strangely enough. I think in like a wild fever dream I had last night, I thought it was raining, and when I woke up this morning, it was dry as a desert outside. So,
Well, if it's not raining, it's 136 degrees outside with 115% humidity. It's
yeah, it never ends. It might as well be raining.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Horrible. Jesus Christ. I can't stand it. I just want to go somewhere where there's a normal climate.
Yeah, okay. Good luck.
Yeah, right?
Good luck finding a normal ass climate.
Yeah, no, it's never going to happen. Not anymore. Those days are over.
Yeah.
All right, so with so many people staying home during the pandemic, some people, specifically the fairer and, well, quite frankly, smarter of the two sexes, have taken to Instagram and TikTok to demonstrate their makeup skills. Now, that got James and I thinking a little bit. What if we found one of those people and started talking to them about their viewpoint on, frankly, why makeup of all things? So, coming up next is our interview, as promised, with the personal makeup artist of the underworld, self-taught badass and mistress of the dark, Nuby.
How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Catch us up. What's life in Nuby land?
Oh, Nuby land, busy, busy, busy as always. I always have something to do.
How is everything going on your Instagram and such?
It's pretty good. It's slowly gaining track, little by little.
It's a difficult game, that game.
It truly is, and I'm still trying to figure out like the whole algorithm thing. It's weird.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely something that I don't know about Eli, but I'm not very good at social media at all.
No, I'm terrible at it, as our listeners have probably noticed by the fact that I post like once every 4 months or something like that on Instagram. I'll like the shit out of your posts, but I'm not going to actually post anything. It's not that I don't have the time. I'm not nearly creative enough to do that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's not for everyone, but
nah, you have to have, I think, like a certain drive and then a certain talent to consistently post things.
A spark.
Yeah, and I don't have it.
Yeah.
So, jumping right into probably the meat of the situation, we had discussed with you a series of questions that we had written out. A pretty, I like to think, a somewhat comprehensive overview of, like I said, why makeup of all things. I mean, there is a million things that you could have been doing and that any of us could have been doing during the quarantine to keep ourselves busy. And we've seen it all. But the one thing that we've predominantly seen through our significant others, and not only because we hang out a lot on social media, is that there's a lot of ladies who are really, really getting into makeup and hair and nail art and all that stuff. And, we noticed that you were sort of taking it in a different direction there. It wasn't just like, oh, let's do contouring and I'm going to show you how to do your nails and how to poof up your hair. No, you went a completely different direction. So in that spirit, we decided to
cooler direction.
Yeah, we decided to go also in a completely different direction and ask you a bunch of questions geared towards, again, why makeup? So, like all good stories, we're going to start at the beginning. What was probably, to your memory, your early exposure to art that you can remember?
Well, aside from having, a natural inclination toward art and music classes back in elementary school, also doing live musical performances on stage, I would want to say around the age of 5. Between the ages of 6 and 7, my parents started putting me in community art classes outside from school. Then I ended up with a private oil painting teacher who taught in her home, and I ended up taking her classes until about I was 15 years old. I truly believe that she was a huge influence in my art training growing up. And I'm very grateful that I met her and that my parents believed in my talent enough to continue to pursue those classes. So that's that in a nutshell.
Okay. I mean, that seems to be one of those consistently important factors that, you know, we've heard from other artists that we've either spoken to or interviewed, that there's that component of belief that others have to have around you at a young age, that like your support circle has to like
Right.
really know that you clearly have some sort of natural talent, and they like push you to keep pursuing it. So that's dope.
Regardless of the fact whether, my parents did send me off to classes or not, I would have still done my shit. I would have still, done my art regardless. So it wasn't going anywhere.
Have you always been that type of person that's like, well, whether you're gonna back me or not, I'm gonna do what I want to do?
Exactly. Absolutely.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Reps.
Own my shit.
So your art teacher was a massive influence for you when it came to art, but who was it that you looked to, or whose art did you look to that was like that almost like inspired you, or like what art did you look for that you liked to consume that then influenced your art further?
Well, this is a very difficult question because I'm a huge explorer of the arts, and to me, anything art related influences me or has an impact in some way. But if I had to boil it down to one main art form, it would have to be the surrealist movement. To me, surrealism represents true freedom of expression. It's an art form that is organic and that allows you to go with the flow, where mistakes never happen and every brushstroke has a purpose and a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
To me, surrealism also wouldn't exist without Salvador Dali, who is my biggest overall influence. My love for this man and his vast works of art is truly unmatched. I can relate to him in so many ways. And I actually was lucky enough to visit his home and museum in Spain with my graduating college class back in 2012. And let me tell you, that was the most amazing experience of my life. To be present at the source of my artistic inspiration as a whole. And not only that, but in the land of my ancestors as well.
Yeah.
It felt like a religious experience for me. And that was like,
it's a come to Jesus moment completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So I know that in sort of talking to you in preparation for this interview, one thing that became deeply apparent and very quickly was your interest in music, not only as a performer and as an actual musician, but as a consumer of music. So that being said, how would you say music has steered your style choices in life and, also in your hobbies, I'd say?
Well, I also want to take it back with this. Despite my very dogmatic upbringing, and it was a very rough upbringing because I wasn't allowed to do much or to be myself, I've always had a deep connection to dark, morose themes and perspectives and aesthetics. And I think specifically metal and goth music really tied in with my views, and it's opened the doors of perception for me to the point where it has completely taken over my fashion sense and the way I portray myself. Also being in the more alternative side of things attracts certain audiences and clients that also vibe with me on that same wavelength. So we're like this one big family of weirdos who can relate to each other and share similar views, like on the occult and spirituality and witchcraft and all that stuff. Everything, a lot of that gets translated into art, and essentially writing my own music within that dark style. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a chameleon and I'm fascinated by all styles of music, but I personally vibe more with the darker themed music because of its raw and poetic aspect that a lot of other music doesn't have.
For sure. Do you think it's also growing up, it was also the thing that was most, antithetical to like that dogmatic kind of upbringing, where it's like, oh, you want me to be in this box? I'm going to be, not only am I outside of the box, I'm blowing the box up.
Exactly. Yeah.
No more box.
That was definitely, the biggest thing too. Like why, I went there because I was, being forced to go into the light.
Yeah. And you're like, no, I'm good.
Going on the other side. it was tough. It was tough because I was suppressed. I was suppressed with,
Yeah.
you know, who I wanted to be, and it was rough. But I I got through it.
Yeah.
Do you find that maybe over time and through like the expression of your own art, do you think that your family has sort of softened their stance a little bit on maybe how they view your art or how they view you as a person and your influences?
Absolutely, because they see that, it's not just about the content. It's they see that I'm a good person and that I want good for myself and for my life. I'm not out on the streets shooting up and,
Yeah.
getting into trouble like that. Just because like I like dark themed things doesn't mean that I'm satanic or, that I'm out looking for trouble. I'm actually a really good person, and, I live by that. And if there's one thing that stuck with me when it comes to like religion was like, your body is a temple. And like I firmly believe that. And that's the only thing that stuck with me when it came to that. So
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good takeaway.
and on top of that, they actually did go to my concert once. So like that was a breakthrough. I'm like, wow, they're actually going to my death metal concert. Like
Yeah.
Oh.
The fact that they're there.
because years ago they threw away all my CDs and all like my pictures of like bands that I liked, and they ripped it in my face. So that's a big step that they took.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's almost like
they're growing.
their thoughts about you or their opinions have to eventually crash into reality, which is you're still a great person. You still do all the things that you would normally do, like besides your interests. Like so, I'm glad that that shifted along the
Yeah,
way, because sometimes it doesn't. It's really sad when it doesn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad to. It changes the relationship. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, going more toward makeup, why makeup? Like, what was it about makeup that kind of interested you, and when you looked at makeup, you saw a little bit more than just like applying like a basic foundation, cover up, whatever. When did it become more in your mind?
Well, as you can imagine, being a woman is, and to this day, very difficult because from birth, we're brainwashed basically into thinking that we have to look a certain way to be loved and accepted by others. More specifically, that we have to appease to men, which is highly detrimental for our psyche, because if by chance, a man isn't attracted to us, we start feeling like there's something wrong with us, when it's not true at all. Not only that, but sometimes we also have to endure certain traumas caused by abusive relationships, which causes severe cases of like body dysmorphia and low self-esteem. There are some of the things that have affected me personally. So when I discovered makeup, it was more to me than just changing my appearance. To me, it was a breakthrough. It was a purging of all that trauma and societal mind control. And above all, it was empowering. I actually currently run a makeup and fashion group on Facebook called Radiant Obscure Beauty and Fashion. And that is catered to all things beauty and makeup. It's already been up for about 2 years now. And the group has grown exponentially over the years, with now at over 1K members. Um, Before the pandemic hit, I was hosting monthly gatherings exclusive to group members, and we would connect with each other, like have conversations, meet new people, share interests, make arts and crafts, do karaoke, just fun shit. It was at the very first event that I had, I guess, started doing my friend's makeup, like just for fun. Shortly after that day, I realized that this was actually my calling, and I've stuck with it since. So I went from completely feeling defeated as a woman to feeling empowered and helping others see their light through the empowerment that makeup gives. And that is the very definition of the power of makeup in my eyes.
So instead of looking at it as a way to like cover up your flaws and anything, it's there to accentuate all of your pros, all of your got it. That's beautiful. That you took something that can be a very negative stigma in the minds of a lot of people, where they go like, oh, I have to fucking put makeup on now, I have to do all this shit. And you've turned it and used that same exact tool and turned it into something really, really positive. That's awesome.
That's dope. I've always loved the idea that some women view makeup almost as war paint, because that's got to be like the most badass mindset ever of makeup. Like, yeah, it's not just foundation or eyeliner. Nah, it's fucking war paint, dude.
It's war paint, baby.
They use it in that way sometimes. So
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? You're already there. So, now, obviously, makeup is not the only thing that we've seen you dabble. And I mean, again, I say that as someone that has taken a deep dive into your Instagram and seen everything from the first post to what you most recently posted a few days ago.
Stalker.
You know, it's research, James. It's not stalking. It's research. Jeez.
those are
Right.
8 pictures, man. I don't know how you did it.
Listen, what I do is I don't like anything. I just view it and I go, one thing that became really apparent was that there was a moment in your Instagram history where it was just makeup, but then suddenly you started to see this, and I won't even offend you by saying it was a subtle introduction. It was just a literal punch in the face, and you started using special effects out of nowhere. So you started using like latex and God knows what other kinds of special effects tools. And I want to know, like, what really got you to start dabbling in special effects makeup and just like moving away from just like face painting and sort of beautification to like literal modification of one's features?
Well, I'm actually slowly trying to learn about SFX and prosthetics and do more research before I apply it to my practice and like clients in the future. But I have used like SFX adhesives, like spirit gum, to glue things on my face or certain looks. And so far, I feel comfortable with that. I won't lie, it is a little intimidating right now, but SFX will definitely be the next step and adventure in my journey of makeup. I just have to pace myself with it because essentially it does deal with a lot of chemicals. And if I'm going to use that on my clients, I have to be cautious and make sure no one's allergic to latex or things of that nature. And I actually haven't used latex. What I do is paint, and paint gives the illusion that there's something on my face when there's not. I'm able to paint and give depth to whatever I'm doing. So that's why maybe you think it's like a prosthetic or latex, but it's not. So
That's somehow even more impressive.
Yeah. I was looking at the Hellboy. I was like, oh, the Hellboy's so sick.
Oh man, people are wait. If you're listening to this, and I'm pretty sure that by the time you're listening to this episode, by the way, we will be in the process of posting these. But wait till you see the Hellboy shots, because they're fucking mind blowing. Like the fact that was done with almost 100% makeup is insane to me. Because that was one of the things I noticed when starting to look at some of the makeup was I had to stop and really like investigate the photo and be like, I'm looking at parts of your face and be like, wait, but is that just contouring? Is that like shading? What is good? Is that an actual thing on her face? And some of them to this day, honestly, I can't tell you. Like if you showed me the photo and asked me, is there like spirit gum or is there any kind of latex product or anything else, I probably would get maybe half of them wrong. So I'm also a guy and I don't know anything about makeup, so I'm kind of dumb. But yeah.
Nah.
Just a little. He's just a little bit.
Tiny bit dumb.
You got to keep
Only
his
a
ego
little.
in check. Got to keep his ego in
Well,
check.
with the Hellboy thing, I did paste. I actually made like the broken horns, and I made my own Hand of Doom out of paper.
Ooh, I was about to ask you about Hand of Doom. How long did it take you to make that Hand of Doom?
A couple of hours.
For
A couple
sure.
of hours. And,
Oh my god, it came out great. I thought it was gonna take longer. Holy, really? Just a couple
A
hours?
couple of hours, and then like I needed a day for it to like dry, I guess. And then so in 2 days it was done.
And then it was good to go.
I know. The hashtag damn. Like,
I've never done that before. I'm not like a 3D artist at all.
but see, that's the crazy part is that you've never done it before and you jumped headfirst into it and look at the product. Like the effect, the final product was incredible.
Sometimes you just have to use what you have at your disposal.
For sure.
Including your giant diamond encrusted balls, because that's what it takes to do that kind of stuff, like on a whim. So congrats on those.
Thanks.
You have the diamond encrusted balls of Antioch?
How'd you know?
With with diving into makeup and now going into special effects and stuff like that, and again working with that, what are some of the struggles that you've kind of had to go through, and what are some of the struggles that have been, that have hit you along the way when it comes to making the group on Facebook and building that community and stuff like that, and then building your clientele base and your Instagram? Like, what are some of the struggles that you've gone through?
I think as an artist, the business and marketing side of things can be very challenging because some of us didn't get that proper training in business to really spread the word about what you do. Not only do you have to grow as an artist and evolve within your craft, but you also have to become your own agent, basically. Choose your own brand name and aesthetic that represents you. And on top of all those things, also learning how to expand your business and audience. So it becomes almost like a balancing act, and you end up taking up too many responsibilities, which can get in the way of your actual creative process. This is why it's so important for the beauty community to be supportive of each other, because with the help of other influencers, there's a possibility of being seen more, and obviously with more exposure comes more growth and work opportunities as well as more clients, which is ultimately my goal within my business model.
Interesting. When it comes to building that clientele, was it like a slow start, all of a sudden you get like this massive increase in like people following you and stuff like that, and then you kind of have to deal with that like bigger increase? Or is it just like this very gradual, natural, organic kind of growth throughout?
It's half and half, because some of it
Okay.
I do have to promote, and that means I have to put in my own money to promote my work, because a lot of times I post something and nobody sees it, whether I put tags or not. So it's really difficult, like on social media. You have to like boost your stuff. You have to pay to be seen, and that's another aspect that it's really difficult, because I'm not really making what I should be making. So it's hard,
Yeah.
but I still do it regardless.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you love it, right?
Yeah, I believe in like what I have to offer and stuff like that. So like I do it, almost out of like necessity, because like I need to be seen. The world needs to see what I have, to offer. It's hard, and there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of people that are doing the same thing, and and sometimes you get drowned out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, as long as you have that like, your worth, your value, what you put on the table, and as long as you have that belief in yourself, I think you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
But what I was going to ask you was, do you think that someone going into this industry and going into the business, maybe something that would be most beneficial for them to learn before jumping in is probably like marketing or
Absolutely.
something of that nature?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's a good tool to have, if you want to start a business. Um, Technically, I probably should be having like a manager or an agent to help me with that, so I can focus more on the actual art, because like I'm spending more time trying to post my stuff and market myself sometimes than like actually making work, and that's a problem with a lot of artists.
Yeah, because now you're not doing the thing that got you to the dance, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
you're
not
not.
like 100% diving into what I need to dive into and focus. I also have to worry about people seeing my work and getting my stuff out there.
It's tough.
Yeah, that is. I can imagine that's a really like specific difficulty that only comes with what you're doing. I mean, like we've had to face some similar obstacles with the podcast, because podcasting is enormous now, and everybody has their own podcast, or they at least try to. So trying to like kind of swim outside of the proverbial stream is difficult, because you have to find a way to set yourself apart. And the biggest challenge, I think, probably is visibility. The same issue that you said you had, is just trying to make yourself more visible to more people, so more people enjoy what you're doing and that they catch on to it. It's tough. Like, it's really tough.
Yeah, you have to stand out. You have to find a way to stand out.
Yep. So now, moving from the sort of, you know, obvious business aspect and difficulties into something a little bit more, I guess, emotional. Um, I wanted to ask you, because you've had, you know, as you've said so far, you've had a fairly long journey with art in general and a, an emotional and psychological journey with makeup. Um, how do you personally define beauty? And does that definition only cover women? And while you're thinking about that, do you think that men can be beautiful, or is that just a description that's best left to the ladies?
Well, beauty to me is and always will be based on each individual's perception. And I think everyone's outlook is valid in their own way. Beauty is boundless and has no attachment to any particular gender. In fact, any and all genders can be beautiful. It's not limited to only women. And men can absolutely be considered beautiful and can certainly beautify themselves as well. There are no rules. Beauty, you know, with beauty and makeup, there are no rules. Makeup is about individualized expression. So it's not bound to be, you know, with any gender and gender roles, none of that. And I don't believe, you know, I don't believe that. So it's very freeing.
Okay. I like that answer.
Yeah, I agree. Beauty's very much in the eye of the beholder. You know,
Exactly.
you know, there's some things that people find beautiful that I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, and there's some things I find beautiful that people are like, you're a psychopath.
That's how I feel about cars.
There you go, man. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly.
I know. And I'm into a lot of trash.
No, you're into a lot of treasure, baby.
It's my treasure, damn it, but everyone else thinks it's trash.
I'm a huge thrifter, so give me your trash.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yo, don't
One
get me near a thrift shop.
one of our favorite chairs in our backyard is called garbage chair because someone was getting rid of it, and it's this huge outside turtle chair. It's like a turtle shell style chair. It was just missing its cushion, so we're like, yeah, we'll take that.
You can make a cushion.
We did. It's great. I love that chair. That's the best chair we have in the backyard.
Trash chair.
It's a garbage chair, and we love it.
Oh,
And
garbage
we get in
chair.
and we go,
Garbage.
mm.
I like the idea of you whispering the word garbage to yourself, but very warmly, like garbage.
Yeah, just so I in the chair can hear it.
Only the chair. Shh.
So, kind of jumping off, getting back on track, jumping off the beauty question. What is your opinion on, you know, like the natural beauty versus, you know, I'm not like makeup, like what would you call it? Like, or like modified beauty, I guess you would call it if you were doing makeup, right? What do you think is like what is your opinion on the difference between those two? Like, what are the values in those two, you think?
I mean, I think both extremes are valid and necessary, as well as anything else in between. You can't have one without the other, and there always needs to be a balance between the two. I think a lot of people, especially women, have the wrong idea about what beauty means, and that's why sometimes there may be a division amongst the beauty industry. As I mentioned earlier, there is no wrong or right way to be beautiful, other than being mindful of what is on the inside. Whether you choose to throw on a bunch of makeup or not, it won't make a difference, because what really counts is the beauty you have within. And if you're an ugly and nasty person on the inside, that will definitely reflect outward, and it's definitely not cute. So it's really what's on the inside, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you want to not wear makeup or wear a full face of makeup. It doesn't matter. You know, both are valid in, you know, there's a time and a place or not. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know,
It's all personal expression too.
A beautiful person.
All right. That's a very concise way of looking at it. That, you know, there's if you're just a genuinely shitty person, no amount of makeup or, you know, genetic like beauty is actually gonna make you beautiful. So, and it's true. Like some of the nicest, like most beautiful people I've ever met are totally normal, average looking people. Like they're not supermodels, and they're not a bunch of, you know, fucking like sewer dwelling mutants, but I mean, I've met some people that look like sewer dwelling mutants, and they're just beautiful people to be around. Like I wouldn't want to be around anybody else but those people.
Yep.
And conversely, like even in high school, I remember like we would, and I know James can attest to this because we went to the same school, that there were some people back then that were just like, my God, you hit the genetic lottery, but they were just trash human beings. Like,
Oh yeah.
zero personality, mean to every single person they met, like just horrible people. And you see them now on
Sadly-
Instagram, and it's like, oh look, wow, so you really are hideous. Okay, that worked out.
Yeah, no heart, no compassion. Not worth it.
It's sadly it's one of those things that I feel like sometimes when you are, if like you're born the, you know, pretty girl or pretty guy or whatever it is, right? It sucks sometimes because you kind of get this, people start giving you this opinion of yourself that like you might start buying into, and then like you kind of start believing all this bullshit that's kind of being thrown around you about you. And I think it just leads to like not fully formed people who don't fully form empathy and don't make those connections and don't have that camaraderie with their, you know, with their fellow peer or whatever it is, because they feel like they're better because they're naturally prettier for whatever society's decided in that moment. Yeah.
It doesn't mean
It
anything.
sucks. It doesn't. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're not a worthy person, if you're not a good person, I don't want to be around you.
Exactly.
So now that we're kind of establishing more or less both the physical and sort of more like, I guess the word would be ethereal aspects of makeup, I'm sure at this point people that are listening to the episode have probably started looking at some of the pictures that we've posted, and they've started to go through your Instagram, and I can almost guarantee you at least a few of them have started to ask themselves this question: do you have any like tips or tricks for people that want to like maybe learn to get into makeup or special effects? I know that you said with special effects you've only been doing it for a limited amount of time, but you know, Halloween is coming up, and despite coronavirus, maybe people just want to do some funky stuff and post it on Instagram. So what do you got for the people?
Absolutely. The one thing I always tell my clients is to have a good skincare routine, because that affects the longevity and texture of whatever makeup you're working with. And if you want to learn more about that and about makeup in general, I do give private one-on-one classes as well, just to keep that in mind. But when in doubt, always remember good skincare and always apply your sunscreen before leaving the house.
Solid.
I like that advice. That's that like drastically overlooked advice for anything. It's kind of like, and again, I'm a one-trick pony. All I know about is cars. So
Yeah.
you say that to me, and the first thing that comes into mind is like people who want to clean their car, or they want to like wax it or polish it, and they're like, why does it keep coming out like shit? And it's like, because you're not cleaning your car properly, so you're not starting with a good foundation, and that needs to stop. If you don't do that, your car is always going to look like crap. So that makes a ton of sense.
Drink water, hydrate. Another very important one.
Damn right.
Take care of your canvas.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. It's like all those that's like all those Bob Ross episodes. How Bob Ross would always start with like a awesome double primed canvas all the time.
Yeah.
Always like he'd harp on constantly about how you have to have a good quality canvas or your painting is going to be terrible.
It's gonna be
For
trash.
sure, yeah, he didn't throw oil on it and then put it in the sun for 4 hours. And then be like, all right, now we're going to paint on it.
Cement on his canvas, you know.
So to jump back a little bit into the makeup train, which brand of makeup has done the most or revolutionized the industry the most, do you feel?
Definitely NYX. NYX has truly
Never even heard of NYX.
Really? They're all
Really?
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Never heard of NYX. I
NYX
swear.
is
Oh, well, I don't walk into makeup sections of Walgreens and shit. I don't know.
I don't know either, dog, but you've grown up with ladies. You know about makeup and stuff, I'm sure of.
She's not a big makeup lady.
Dude, I've seen like that's been the issue growing up with my sisters, and then having spent so much time with with Millie and doing the makeup thing is like I surprisingly know more makeup brands than I probably should, because I can't do anything with that information, but it's there.
There you go.
He knows.
Sorry, I interrupted. Continue.
So yeah, NYX.
So yeah, NYX has truly revolutionized the industry in a big way. Like I said, they're sold at most places. They're super affordable. and they have such a huge selection of items. It might take a lifetime to try all their products, and they always come out with new exciting products. So it's like, wow, oh, this month they're coming out with this new super colorful eyeliner and like a new formula. They're always coming out with new things, and they're just super affordable. And a lot of people can't really afford like that high-end stuff. So NYX is the go-to.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how expensive, because makeup gets expensive.
Oh Lord.
Like,
let's just say I'm in debt.
oh God. Yeah, I've seen people are like, oh my God, I reserved this new palette. I was like, oh, how much is it? They're like $300.
After pay.
Yeah, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
Like, for what? Oh my.
Yeah,
God.
makeup gets wild expensive. Like I've seen Millie like before when we've gone to like Sephora, and I'm just like walking around, I'm just eating shit, like waiting to leave or whatever.
Go there.
And I'll just be looking at stuff and I'll be like, oh, okay, that little tiny eyeliner pen is $85. I'm walking right out of this store. No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Don't go in there. It's the devil.
If you had, this is just something that always interests me. If money wasn't a factor, like unlimited income, you buy whatever makeup you want, is there some like really amazingly expensive, obscure makeup company out there that you're like, yeah, my entire array, all my tools would be from them? And who would it be?
Cryolin.
What are they called?
Cryolin.
Cryolin? I want to believe that name implies that they cryogenically engineer all their makeup. Everything is done in the Arctic.
They specialize a lot with like special effects, and they have like amazing colors, and their formula is fantastic, but it's so expensive.
So they're like the
Define
best,
expensive.
probably.
Hold on. I need to know this. Define expensive.
I want to say one palette with maybe like 5 or 6 colors is like $100 or something like that. But it's the formula that you're paying for. If you're gonna do body paint, which I want to also get into, like full body paint, like you need good paint that stays on when like the client is like sweating or whatever.
Yeah.
The climate is too hot. You don't want the paint to crack or smear or melt off. So you're really paying for the formula.
You're paying for quality.
Do we need to like reach out on your behalf to these people and like have them make you like, no, seriously, like hire you as like a field tester for body paint? Because if their body paint can be used by you and survive on your clients in Miami's weather, talk about industry proven and tested.
They should put me on their PR list.
They really should. And you know what? Screw it. We're gonna reach out to them and tell them they have to do it.
That's awesome.
Starting a Twitter campaign.
Hashtag hire.
I tag them when I use their products, but a lot of those companies never like back or like look at it. It's just there's so many people tagging them, it's impossible.
For sure.
Yeah, of course.
But I do tag them when I use their stuff.
Might as well. Why not? You never know. One day they might respond.
Maybe.
It's why I like kind of like the tactic that, I mean, I don't know if you follow The Rock on Instagram, if you follow any big names on Instagram, but he does this thing like since like quarantine happened, like COVID hit, and then his Terramana tequila came out or whatever it was, right? But he does this thing that like every other day he'll just like repost videos that people post about Terramana, but it's like the smartest. So the Terramana is a tequila he made.
Oh,
it's
okay.
The Rock's tequila brand. Okay. And basically people just make these Instagram videos like, oh, I just got my bottle of Terramana, and they do like a little skit or they do whatever it is, right? And then they tag him. So he just goes through, and I don't think it's him, it's probably his team. But they literally just repost carousels, like 10 videos of people's Instagram just doing Terramana stuff. And I'm like, that's so smart, because now it encourages people. I want to make Instagram videos for you, and I'm almost marketing for you, and then you can use it for free as like a thing on your page. Smart.
He's a smart man. He's a very large.
That's what Cryolin should do, but with you.
Yes, we'll tell them. We'll talk to our people. We'll talk to their people.
Oh man,
it's gonna be great. So, in the process of learning to do anything, whether it be makeup or hair or nails or any kind of art, music, whatever, there comes that time where you kind of have to get sort of reflective. And in that spirit, I wanted to ask you, and be honest,
Mm.
What is your biggest makeup mistake of all time? Don't be shy.
Okay. I probably shouldn't blame myself because I really have no control over how things play out. But I think my biggest mistake um, was probably starting so late into the game. I really wish I had found my calling in makeup a lot sooner when like the makeup industry really started to blow up because I would have already established myself by now and done so much and I probably would have been working for myself and had my own makeup line, the whole 9 yards, really. So I just had no idea that I would be going in this direction, years back when I was in college. I mean, I originally graduated with a fine arts and photography degree. Don't get me wrong, I'm super grateful for the artistic training that I received in school and in my earlier years. And I firmly believe that because of, that training, I have learned and evolved with makeup significantly and in such a short amount of time. All of that really worked in my favor and to my advantage. I've only just started in April 2019. It's been less than a year, and
Oh my God.
some
Yeah. You give
change.
yourself years.
And yeah, and I took the initiative to be serious about makeup, and look where I am now. But I just really wish that it would have clicked in my head years ago, and been like, damn, this is what I should be doing. Like, why didn't I think of this before? Because now look at the state of the world. Like, I can't do anything.
Yeah. It's hard to go anywhere.
But conversely, I feel like given enough time, with like what has become evident in this interview is your drive and your passion to move forward and continuously improve. I feel like as time goes on, if I asked you that question 2 or 3 years from now, you'd give me a totally different answer, because I feel like 2 or 3 years from now, that won't be a mistake. It'll turn into, man, thank God I started when I did,
Right.
like when everyone was stuck at home doing makeup and learning how to do it. And eventually, because this coronavirus stuff is going to pass at some point, how many of those people, and I mean, realistically, probably a large percentage of them will give up because they're going to be like, okay, back to normal life. Got to go back to work. Got to go back to, going to the bars and going out dancing and going out hanging with my friends. And they're like, all right, I'm going to set aside my quarantine hobby because I'm not under quarantine anymore. But you're going to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
So I feel like probably in a few years, like I said, that question of your biggest mistake will turn into a relief. Like, oh, thank God I started when I did and that I kept doing it.
Like it's a mistake and it's not, because it's like I'm also um, building my portfolio. Like when I was actually unemployed for since March until July, like I was just nonstop. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna practice my craft and I'm gonna build my portfolio because like this is what I want to do and nothing's gonna stop me. you know. But like I said, it would have been so nice if had I known, that I would be capable of all this stuff, and my art would actually be seen, because like as an oil painter, as like someone who actually draws and illustrates, like I don't even get that much exposure. But when I started drawing on my face, people would like really see and like notice. So it's something so weird. Like I don't get it. It's like I can draw something on a piece of paper. People are like, but I draw it on my face and they're like, ooh, damn. So it's like,
I gotta tell you, I think, and I'm saying this as someone who has no artistic talent whatsoever, walking through like Comic-Con, and I know James has had this experience too, like walking through any of like the Comic-Cons or SuperCon or anything like that. You walk through Artist Alley, which is usually like a big section of the convention that's just like booth after booth after booth of artists. And that's just all it is. It's just the same thing over and over. It's just people who can draw. Like, there's a lot of artists out there. There's a lot of people capable of drawing. So
right.
when you see something like that, you're like, okay, like that's great. I'm glad you took the time to draw that in color. Congratulations. But to be able to look at like a mirror of your face and draw on it and like get that result where what you're drawing on your face is like, I'm trying to put this into words. Okay, so like you're drawing on your face thinking about how other people are going to perceive it from the outside. And like that was one of the things that like in our interview with Peter that like impressed me about his carving was like, you're essentially carving this backwards.
Yeah,
Like the whole time you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's impressive, because on a piece of paper, it's like, okay, the way I'm drawing it is the way everyone else is going to see it. Big deal. I don't have to really, there's no talent outside of the initial like drawing that's really needed here. But to do what you do is, I mean, it's almost akin to like tattoo artists, where you're working on a textured 3D surface that is sometimes hard, sometimes it's soft, sometimes it's rough. There's imperfections. There might be scarring, or there might be, maybe dimples or bone or something like that. And you have to learn to work around that. That's, I think, what makes it so impressive.
Yeah. It's just like, it's like another layer.
Yeah. That 3D art is wild. Like having to do that stuff on your face. I mean, like, bro, all the props in the known universe. Cause
yeah.
I can kind of sort of get away with stick figures. Don't ever let me try to do makeup on somebody, because I'm a step away from just eating crayons. Seriously, like it's bad.
So we a little second ago we brought up COVID, and we brought up kind of how everything shifted and changed right now in the current climate. So I wanted to kind of ask you, as kind of like the closing question, what does Nuby's future look like, and how does this current COVID existence that we have going on right now, how has that kind of shifted your plans and like shifted your way forward?
Well, the future is still a little uncertain, but I'm hoping that when things go back to normal, I can maybe have a larger client base, more sessions, more exposure, so that my business can expand and be taken to the next level. I had a lot of goals and high hopes set for 2020, but COVID-19 was a huge blow for everyone.
Yeah.
So all we can do is keep on trucking and hope for the best, and the 2 clients that I did have this year, I took very precautious measures, and like I wore my mask, my face shield, my gloves, like I was very super hygienic and everything. And like I had them sign, like a waiver and stuff. And, I was very professional. So I have all that down, it's just a matter of getting people to not be scared to work with me,
Yeah, because that's probably the hardest part, right? Because you have to work so closely with people, like,
into their face.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I mean, hey, listen, that's a great like positive mindset to have, is just keep trucking, because that's realistically all any of us can do at this point. And it seems pretty evident that there's plenty of light at the end of that tunnel for you. I would say, that makeup, from my understanding, having grown up with women around me my whole life, because I had 2 sisters and my mom and my aunts and my grandmother and stuff like that, that like for a lot of women, it seems, and this is becoming more apparent as I get older, that makeup is very quickly becoming less of a societal requirement and more of an empowerment tool. And the fact that you're learning to have fun with it and doing everything from simple just beautification, like, hey, let's do some contouring, some eyeshadow, some lipstick, all the way to like that wild ass program, or that project that you did with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like that was dope. And there was, from my knowledge, there was 0 special effects done there, aside from, I think, the contact lenses. And that was it. I mean, thank God you didn't ask her to file down her teeth, but still.
She would have totally done it.
But see, like that's the type of like client, and that's the type of like client relationship that I'm glad that you're forming with the people that are doing this with you, is that you have people that are totally emotionally open to just getting wild. Like, do whatever you need to do. My face is your canvas. Knock yourself out. And that's great, because that lets you express yourself as an artist, and it lets them express themselves as a walking canvas, which frankly some people need, Yeah.
And
I love getting tattooed.
I also dabble with like videography on top of that, as you've seen.
Yes.
So, I want to get more versed with that in the future as well.
Okay. And speaking
I'm
of
just
the
glad.
future, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
What I was gonna say really quick. I'm just glad that that there's still people like you that chase their passion, that aren't scared to go after what they know in their heart is what they want to do and what they want to be doing. And no matter what happens with COVID, with whatever it is, if you're chasing your passion, you're doing the thing that you want to be doing. Like, that's such a great, beautiful, positive message to put out into the world that not enough people, I think, take seriously, and that they kind of just like, oh yeah, sure, I'll chase my dreams, whatever. But it's like, no, but really, if you just do that simple thing, just chase what you love, chase the thing that you're passionate about, it's going to be so much better for you and for that thing, right? Because you have the passion to put into it. So it's awesome that you still, no matter what, are still trucking, and you're like, I don't give a shit what's happening, I'm going to keep doing me.
Yeah, and that's like why in my makeup group I kind of try to like instill that mentality into the girls and into people that are part of that group. And I do like little contests, like little creative makeup contests, and they win like little free stuff, and it's just, you know, to get them to be more open and creative and create, you know, and just to be themselves and like unapologetically. So, you know, that's what I strive to I guess reach out to other people in that same manner that, you know, I carry myself, and I teach them, you know, that way of being. And it's just, it's, you know, I don't know, to me it's beautiful. It's a beautiful way of seeing things, and being creative really helps. It's being creative, and like making art is therapy, and all of us need therapy right now. We all need to feel like, you know, everything's going to be okay, because not a lot of people are okay, you know.
Oh no, a lot of people are not okay.
Yeah, most of us are the complete polar opposite of okay right now.
Yeah, to have that little glimmer of hope, and that little glimmer of like, hey, you know, I did something cool, you know, look what I did, you know, I won this contest and this makeup contest, and I feel so good about myself, you know. It's that little seed that I want to plant into people, you know, be like, you know, just the little things that will really steer you into a more positive, happy mindset, you know, at the end.
Beautiful.
I like it. So now that everyone has finished applauding, laughing, and or crying while hearing some of this, we're going to get off of Sirius Street and head on over to Silly Avenue. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to bring you some wonderfully hilarious Would You Rathers. We'll be back in a second. All right, folks, thanks again for listening to another episode of The Dairy Aisle. As always, we're glad you're able to join us this week for an episode of general mayhem and lunacy as we discover cool topics and cool people. As always, stay tuned to our Instagram for more information on anything to do with The Dairy Aisle, from current episodes, episode topic, content, and sneak peeks into upcoming episodes. All right, and we're back. Thanks for taking that little break with us. If you had to grab a snack or use the restroom, I hope you had a good time, because it's about to get better. Because now we're going to be inviting our guests to our favorite segment, Would You Rathers. James, take us away, please.
I will start with a light Would You Rather.
Ooh, all right.
Now, Nuby, would you rather never have to wash your face again and miraculously have clear skin, or never have to brush your teeth again but miraculously have zero cavities and fresh breath?
I'm gonna go with the face. Obviously.
I figured.
That was a given.
Easy one. Slam dunker. But I will say, if I had to choose, it would also be face, but because I'm very bad about washing my face. I'm not good at washing my face. I honestly, I'm a little like, I don't really get a ton of acne, or like my skin's usually pretty good normally. So I kind of lucky in that sense, but I'm horrible with washing.
Lucky with their skin. They never had to do anything. They just put soap all over their face and they're good to go. But we have to do cleanser, toner, masks, moisturizer, all these things. So
I use charcoal soap.
Exactly.
Wait a minute, you guys.
I use charcoal soap.
You guys use soap?
What do you use?
I use boiling hot water.
Oh my god!
Soap that's specific for the face, and yeah, that's fine. You can't just put Dove soap on your face. It does.
No, that's why I'm blown away that you guys even use soap. I just throw really hot water on my face and hope. That's it.
And just pray.
Yeah, I just have water and a spiritual concept. That's how I clean my face. No, because the thing is, I have combination skin. So like, I'm only oily in like the dreaded T zone, and then everything else is like bordering between sort of oily and sort of dry. So like once in a while, if it's getting kind of bad, Mills has like this like Neutrogena like face wash that she uses in the shower, and I use it, and it's okay. Like I really don't notice a huge difference, but I'm sure it's working by cleaning off some of the extra like oil and dirt that accumulates.
I recommend get a facial.
I've never had one. The closest I think I've ever done is I when I used to work for Lush a really long time ago. I would use their face masks. Yes, I did work for Lush. And I would use some of the face masks that they had.
Really quick. Not only did he work for Lush, he still loves Lush as a product.
Yeah, like
he's like they give some of the best product I've ever goddamn seen.
Yeah, no, they really do. Like I love some of their products. If I had more money, I'd buy it, honestly. But
okay.
But I mean, going back to the question, for me personally, it's got to be number 2. Because I'm a step away from being a British person, and you know them, they have like burnt corn for teeth. So like, if I never had to brush my teeth again, but I had no cavities and fresh breath, what? You know how much money I'm saving on toothbrushes or teeth brushes and toothpaste, and Listerine? You know how expensive Listerine is? Are you kidding me? Like,
this is my toothbrush, but just for my one tooth.
And floss. It's a floss.
You know, I've never really been good at flossing. The only alternative that I found to flossing that I was kind of like okay with was that like the Aqua Pick thing, the one that like super soakers in between your teeth. Surprisingly not terrible. Also horrifying the amount of things that actually stay between your teeth. Like I Aqua Picked once like a few months ago. Yo, it was a moment. Like I felt like a bird. I was like, am I storing seeds in between my teeth? What? You know what? This has gone on too far. I'm going to go on to the next question.
Dentist memes.
Oh, my God. They're so funny. All right. So would you rather have to never shave again or never sweat without any of the bad side effects?
Never shave again.
I figured that was going to be instantaneous for all women.
Agreed. Never shave again.
Really? For me, it'd be never sweat.
I love sweating.
Yeah, but remember, there's no bad side effects.
Sweating is good to let go of toxins.
I know, but Elias, I love being sweaty.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing better to me than going outside and then just like as I'm watering the garden, just like, oh man, it's really hot. I'll take off my shirt, start getting sweaty. I'm just like, oh man, I'm gonna move this around. And it's like, as I start building up a sweat, I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. I kind of want to keep doing this all day. I'm just like, start moving shit.
I don't know about you, but I really, truly enjoy this thing called air conditioning.
I don't think he's ever heard of it.
Yeah,
never.
James was obviously born next to an active volcano, so
I'm the worst. But no, I love building up a sweat, but that doesn't mean I'm not a posh hoochie. When I go to bed, it needs to be like Antarctic levels of wind chill in here.
Well,
for
remember
me to fall asleep.
That in this hypothetical, it's would you rather never have to shave again or never sweat without any bad side effects? So you're still like, your body's still going to get rid of toxins. You're still going to be able to keep yourself cool when it's hot outside, but you're not doing it through sweating. You're just doing it because you're, I don't know, some perfect sweatless creature.
It evaporates.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is through osmosis. How horrible would it be if instead of sweating like a human, you sweat like a dog, where you're just constantly salivating when it's really hot?
You're constantly waving your ears around. Like, fucking come on, Jesus.
God, James, stop drooling. It's not even that hot outside. I'm sorry, it is.
I'm sorry, it's like 85 degrees.
Moving.
Yeah. I still think I go no shave, man.
Yeah, but then you'd be like a hairless ape.
No, but I'm not going to be totally hairless. It'll just be the parts that I never want to shave again, right? Like, I still get to keep my beard, but I never have to like do my neck.
Okay, I guess fine. Yeah, in that scenario, you can be selective about what parts of your body you want to shave.
See, there you go. So I can have like my chest will be done. I don't have to worry about that.
Then I never want to sweat from Then I never want to sweat from my armpits ever again. I don't mind sweating everywhere else, just never from my armpits, ever.
Oh, so you can do swamp ass, but you just don't want.
You know, I'll take the swamp ass. Swamp ass is like a badge of honor. If you got swamp ass, you're working hard. You know. Or listen,
I want to leave my mark on the world. One seed at a time. What'd you say?
Skid mark.
Oh God, this went off the rails so quickly.
It did.
Oh my God. All right.
That's why it's a fun segment.
Duh. Anyways, so now that we got that out of the way. Oh Lord, this got out of control fast.
I'm just picturing Elias. Every time Elias sits down anywhere now, I'm just gonna be like, wait for it.
Here
He's
it
leaving his
comes.
mark. Gets up, there's that T-zone right on the seat.
Oh
right there.
Lord, oh, the good old T-zone. All right. Anyways, Nuby, thank you so much for agreeing to come on our show. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with a pair of schmucks like us and giving us a sneak peek into what is obviously a very intricate and intense makeup industry, specifically through your eyes, somebody who, as we found out today, is not like myself, a one-trick pony. Is there anything else you wanted to say before you go?
Yeah, is there anything you want to plug away?
Yes, please. Now's the time.
I'm very grateful for you guys and having me on the show and stuff like that. And hopefully anyone that's watching to please, I guess, look into my Instagram and give me a follow, a like, tell me what you think. And yeah, that's about it.
Get your makeup
Definitely
done.
go follow her on Instagram and give her all the likes and comments.
All of it. All of it. Do all those things. All the things you guys normally would do for us, go do for her. And since she's not on iTunes, you don't have to write her a review or anything like that. So, don't be lazy. Just go and follow her. Give her a like.
You can write me a review on Facebook.
There you go.
Write her a review. Leave her a glowing review on Facebook because it's going to help.
Join her beauty group.
There you go. See? So, by the way, speaking of that, before we go, because it's one thing I just wanted to clarify really quick, because I'm stupid and I didn't understand the concept earlier. Your beauty group is essentially like, from my understanding, you have like a support group based around makeup.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And can I get the name for that one more time, please?
Called Radiant Obscure Beauty.
Got it. Okay, wonderful. All right. So, again, folks, thank you for joining us for another wonderful episode. It's been great having all of you. As always, shoppers, please take all your purchases to the front. The store is closing. If you can, please don't forget to check us out on Instagram. James, where can they find you personally on Instagram, my friend?
They can find me at Jigamuth, Jiggamuth. And it's the same on Twitter, but Twitter is kind of like a nuclear wasteland, so I'm not really on there much.
Yeah, we post like once a year. That's basically it.
Yeah, I like Instagram because it's just like Waffle House. You just put pictures and then you like it or you don't like it.
I like it. I didn't at first. I was gonna say that Instagram is like Waffle House and that it's a horrible wasteland from which there is no return. But I mean,
no, it's the thing that you accidentally walk into at 3 a.m. when your senses aren't all there.
I just go, oh no, how did I get here? You can find me on Instagram at Grumpy Eli. You can find our guest, Nuby, on Instagram at Beauty by Nuby. You can also go to her TikTok under the same name, Beauty by Nuby. She also has a YouTube channel under the exact same name. I'm going to say it again for those in the back, Beauty by Nuby. And you can go to Facebook for the very last time, Beauty by Nuby. Folks, again, thank you for listening to another episode of The Dairy Aisle. We hope to see you guys in a couple weeks. We love you all. Thanks for coming out.
Love you.
Bye, everybody. Love you.